Okay, so I think that we will wait a little more and I will talk a little about our company so you will know why we are talking today about this topic. So, welcome to our dynamic talk by Grid Dynamics. My name is Elvina and I will be a moderator today. You will listen to technical talks by our experts. I'm going to introduce our experts today, but a little bit later. Firstly, I want to share some information about our company and we want to share why we want to share our expertise. Grid Dynamics is a leading provider of technology, consulting, engineering, and data science services for Fortune 500 corporations from financial, technological, and retail sectors. It has been operating since 2006, is headquartered in California, and has development centers in the United States, Eastern and Central Europe, and Asia. As of today, Grid Dynamics brings together more than 4,000 engineers in 14 countries and can continue to grow steadily. Grid Dynamics is a Nasdaq-listed public technology service company with core expertise in big data, data science, machine learning, and AI, scalable omnichannel services, DevOps, and cloud enablement. You can find more about our company and about our job positions with scan this QR code. Okay. And now I want to introduce our speakers. The first speech will be about product owner and product manager. Who are they? From Tatiana, Potelova, and Anastasiia Makarenko. And after them, the second will be from Yana Nekrasova about prototyping for BSAs, my tips and tricks. So, and during the lecture, I want to say about some rules. Please be muted. And during talk, you can ask your questions via Zoom chat. After the report, our speakers will answer them, or you can ask your questions by microphone, but only after the speech. So I think that we can start. Tatiana, Anastasiia, please, your microphone.
Hey, thank you, Elvina. Hi, everyone. Very welcome to our dynamic talk. I'm delighted to see you here today. And let's begin. The first talk would be about the roles of product owner and product manager specifically. Who are those people? And what's the difference in between? And let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Tatiana Potelova. I'm a business analyst and product owner at Grid Dynamics. I am also holding the role of product manager on my current project for the client. I am experienced in edtech, fintech, startups, and accessibility. And Anastasiia, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Anastasiia. I'm a product owner, business analyst in Grid Dynamics. And I'm also very interested in product management. And I was lucky to find a project in the company where I could apply those skills and knowledge. So I will share my knowledge with you today later.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, and let's cover the agenda for today. First, we will mention what problems you will be able to likely solve after this meetup. What's the difference between product owner, business analyst, and system analyst? Then we will dive into the specifics of the roles of product owner and product manager and the difference in between. Then we will cover what main hard skills you will need to be a good product manager. And then we will share our personal experience of being a product owner and product manager within our company. Okay, let's start then. And for starters, we have a little survey for you, and I kindly ask you to scan the QR code or follow the link that Elvina just sent in the chat and fulfill it. It's really just 3 or 4 questions, which are actually single choice. It will take just 30 seconds of your time, but believe me, it will be very interesting to see the results at the end of our meetup. So please fulfill the survey. Cool, I love that. We already have the majority. Let's have a bit more time for everyone to complete the survey. And I will return back to our slides. So yeah, what problems you will solve with the help of this webinar? As you can guess from the questions in the survey, you will understand better what product owner, manager, and manager roles are. And also, I know that we already have some managers and developers here. So our beloved developers out there will understand what this guy with the title BA should do, or what this product owner at your project who just joined should do. And for the managers, who it would be helpful because you will be able to find the best fit at any open position on your project regarding these roles. So maybe you should hire a system analyst, or should it be a product manager? And of course, for our colleagues, it will be helpful to understand the distinction and focus on priority tasks and develop career path more successfully. Okay, I hope that everyone who wanted completed the survey. You can still continue to do that. It won't be a problem. And thank you for doing that. And let's start. So we will begin with the differences in between product owner, BA, and SA roles. And let me explain to you the distinctions and the intersections of the key interests and areas of focus for each of the roles. So as a product owner, your most priority would be product strategy, buyer and user personas, feature definition processes, vision, roadmap, definition and maintenance, then backlog grooming and release tracking. You should be leading those activities as a product owner at your project. And of course, business engagement. As a BA, you will be focusing on mostly understanding business, clarifying any sort of details, questioning things, formalizing what you've learned from the business, and of course, gather the requirements. As a system analyst, you will be more interested in solution architecture, system modification, specifications of the system, stress testing, and risk maintenance. And of course, those roles overlap, and it's really hard to draw the line in between. But so we can tell that product owner and business analyst, they both are interested in business priorities, business cases, story gathering, writing processes, story cost benefit analysis, backlog refinement, acceptance testing, facilitating any sort of communication and processes, and of course, focusing on customers if you have access to them. And of course, we can tell that some tasks are in between business and system analyst roles, and those would be requirement verification and validation, prototyping, project acceptance practices, and modeling and diagramming. You can tell me now that you have a title of system analyst, but still you do some business priorities, identification. Sorry if you hear my cat in the background. So I can tell you that most likely you fulfill at least a part of the role of business product owner at your project, and congrats then if you want it, or you should consider your priorities if you don't want to go in this direction. So to sum it all up, let's define what are the main focus areas of each of these roles. So first, product owner is focusing on value maximization and product success, regardless of feasibility of things, most likely. Business analyst is more of a bridge between business and development. So your main goal is to have requirements clarity, to gain stakeholders agreement, and of course, the project success as is. And as system analyst, you are interested more in requirements feasibility and system sustainability. So you want the system, the code to be sufficient. And let's cover some product owner role highlights. Where does this title even come from? It comes from Scrum, of course, as you can know already. So Scrum definition of the role would be, it is a person who is accountable for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the Scrum team. The key thing is here maximizing the value. So you don't really care of like any other things except the value actually, and this is key here. So we can say that the skill set is similar to a BA's one, but you also require to have some product development expertise to fulfill the role successfully, and you focus on product value again. And one important thing to understand, if you already kind of fulfill this role, partially at least, is that you should be in conflict with a project manager, scrum master, if you have it on your project, the person of your project, or with yourself, even if you do both project management and product ownership. Where does it come from? When you plan a sprint, or if you maintain any other methodology, when you just plan the scope, if you have this conflict within yourself or with other person that business needs that, we should push it, and the response is that, well, we can't, it's hard, blah, 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 etc. Anything regarding the delivery or feasibility of things, then most likely you are more on this product owner scale of these roles than, say, some project management one. Okay, I hope this makes sense. And just to visualize things again for product owner role, you are interested more in product and business goals, in communicating with stakeholders, of course, communicating with development team and maintaining product backlog, but also your main focus is on product vision. Okay, this was an explanation of what those three very intertwined roles are and how they differ from each other. And we covered in a little more details what product owner role specifically is. And now it's time to talk about product manager role in details. And Anastasiia, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. So before we go into details, I would like to first answer a popular question: what's the difference between a product owner and a product manager? And as mentioned before, product owner is a Scrum role. So it originated from Scrum, and it's basically the person who works close with the team and who maximizes the business value. But depending on the company, there are three scenarios of how PO and PM correlate with each other. So the first scenario, probably I've seen this one most often because it's like typical for big companies, is when the PO and the PM are different people. And you can see the picture here. It's from the SAFe Scale Agile Framework book. And as you can see, a product manager works directly with the customer, with the market, maybe does a lot of marketing stuff. And product owner here is more about the solution, technology, and it's focused on the team and on the implementation. The second scenario is when the PO partially performs PM activities. And in this case, usually a PM is responsible for high-level strategy of the product development, and PO is more like a tactical role, who's focusing on how to implement this specific feature and needs. And the third scenario is when it's the same person. This one is specifically, it's typical for smaller companies, startups probably, or where the same person does everything. I think it all depends on the company, and now we can go into the details of PM skills and goals. So PM's main goal can be described with this probably popular quote. So product manager must come to a user group, identify user problems and how to solve them, understand how to earn money solving these problems, and how to effectively implement it. A product owner in a startup and a product owner in a big corporation might have different responsibilities, tasks, and they need different skills. So might product owners of technical products and product owners of like e-commerce products. But the goal is always the same: maximize the value for the customers and optimize business outcomes. Now we can go into the specific skills that my product manager might require. And I don't want to talk about soft skills because it's obviously some strategic thinking, communication skills, and so on. But I want to talk about the hard skills, and I group them into 3 main blocks. Those are competitive analysis and market research, hypothesis generation and validation, and product analytics. So I would like to go through each of them and discuss in detail. So the first one, competitive analysis and market research, includes 4 skills. The first one is competitive analysis. This one means analyzing your competitors, their distribution on the market, who they are, direct and indirect, what are the plans, how can your product be better, how can you win customers from them, even analyzing some marketing channels they use. So all about competitors and your advantages on the market. The second one is market size. So this one is especially important for startups or taking over new markets. It's about analyzing the size of your potential audience, potential customers, if your future business or the new market is actually viable, if you should go there, if you should develop this product, or it's just not enough people there to use your product. The next one is product strategy. This one is just about long-term, short-term strategy, roadmaps, and product vision. And the last one is user research. And this one is very, very important because product owner should build the product around customer needs. And this one is all about understanding those needs and creating the right product. So I would like to concentrate on this point and see this one in details. So there are various methods that the PM can use to do user research. So I group them in 4 categories. The first one is user segmentation. It means grouping users by some shared characteristics. It can be geographic, demographic, behavioral characteristics, and understanding patterns within these groups of customers, because different segments might have different needs from your products. And for example, as an example, a photo editing app can be used by photographers, but it also can be used by bloggers and just regular customers. And those 3 segments will have different needs. They will need different features, and you might need to know this. The next one is qualitative research. So this one is mostly about research through open-ended questions and conversations, for example, one-on-one interviews or focus groups. These methods can give you a deeper understanding of your audience, of your customers. You can learn how they use your product, in which context they use your product, which problems, maybe not really obvious problems they have. And it's also very, very useful and important to understand your audience. Here I would also include probably analyzing customer feedback and reading reviews, because it's something that you cannot quantify. So it's a qualitative research as well. So then let's talk about the quantitative research. It's vice versa. It's anything that can be quantified. So meaning surveys, polls, data analytics, statistics of product usage, experiments, for example, A/B testing. As another example, it's like a customer satisfaction poll that you can place at the end of your checkout process, for example, and you can gain feedback from users and see if they actually like your product. And the next one is the last one, is UX research. It's anything related to UX, to the actual interface of the product. It can include researching best practices, verifying the UX flow, conducting usability testing of the prototypes or usability testing of the real products. Because if you come up with a great feature, like a killer feature, and you implement it poorly, no one will get the value that the feature can bring. So it's also very, very important to do. So this is my classification. To gain the best results, I think this process of researching your users, your customers, should be continuous. Yeah. So let's go to the next one. The next block is hypothesis generation and validation. So when you as a PM gained understanding what your customers actually need, what problems they have, you can generate some ideas, hypotheses of how can you improve this process. So for the first step of this is idea generation. So as a source of this ideas, you can use there's also your user research. You can use market trends. You can use customer feedback, brainstorming, your imagination. So anything that you think can improve your flow. But of course, if you've done user research, you might understand better what should be done. The next step is prioritization. So just like you do with like your regular stories in the backlog, you should also prioritize your ideas that you can implement. So the most popular prioritization techniques are rice and ice in this case. Those two, they take into consideration the complexity of the idea of the feature, the importance of the feature, and confidence in this feature, so that the easiest feature to implement that will bring the most value and that you're the most confident in will go first into implementation and most likely will bring you a lot of value. And the last point is validation. So when you have already released your features and hypotheses, you might want to check if they're actually working. And here, the most popular, the most commonly used way to do this is A/B testing. So you compare two variants of the products, of your products, the old one, which is called the control version, and the new one, which is called the test version. So the new one contains, for example, a new feature you think will work, will optimize your flows. And you see how the new version affects the metrics, and you compare with the old ones, and you make a decision based on this, whether you want this feature to stay or you want to remove this feature because it's not working. And another way to, like, there are other ways to do this, like cohort analysis as well, but it's like similar, I think. But another way, maybe not that common, I call it fake features. It's probably most useful for new products when you want to create something new, but you're not sure if like it will be interesting for your users. And you want to create, you can create, for example, a fake landing page of your potential products. You can like create a marketing campaign to get users here, and you actually can see like if users are interested in this, if the acquisition cost is too high, and you can like put there, for example, some fake buttons and put some surveys and polls behind these buttons, like, sorry, the product is still in development, but we would like to hear your opinion. So you can also gain feedback from these things. So it's also a cool feature, especially for new products. So yeah, and the last block I wanted to cover is product analytics. And of course, as a product manager, you are responsible for the metrics, and metrics provide key insights into the product's health and performance, and it's very, very, very important. And you can see like how your features perform, how cool your users are, how each audience like use your product. So it's very, of course, it's very important. And probably I would include in the product analytics skills also some common methods to analyze those metrics. For example, unit economy or cohort analysis, probably. Those two are fairly popular methods on the market nowadays. And the metrics depend on the product, obviously, but like I put here the most popular ones, the ones you hear the most, those are conversion rate, LTV, lifetime value, retention, acquisition costs. So as a PM, most likely you will need those. And product analytics is, I would say it's nice to have feature, because sometimes in your company there is a separate person, there is a separate role of a product analyst who's responsible for all these analytical tools. But it's nice if as a product manager, you can use these systems and you can do it yourself, analyze the metrics yourself. So I just put there's the most popular ones, but there's so many more product analytics systems. But Google Analytics, you've all heard of it, I guess. amplitude, pendule, and so on and so on. This is what I wanted to share with you about the hard skills, like the theoretical part. And now I want to share like my experience in this company, how I could apply this knowledge in my project. Since Grid Dynamics is an outsourced company, it's not a really common case to have product responsibility here. But the whole product approach that I described, it's not always present even in product companies. So sometimes they just don't do these things in product companies. And I just wanted to share my experience, how we managed to integrate those skill, knowledge, and product approaches into even the an outsourced project. So my project is related to re-platforming and redesigning of an e-commerce website. The client is a well-known tool distributor that's been on the market since 1950s. So they had a very outdated website. I'm not sure when they implemented this website, but it was long ago. And there was no product manager on the client side. And in general, the client was open for suggestions and recommendations. So we were kind of flexible in this project. So what we did from what I just mentioned before. So first of all, customer segmentation. So customer segments were well known because, well, it's an old company, they know their customers, but we use this information, those segments, to create UX personas so that we could create the best designs, keeping the customers in mind, knowing their characteristics, I guess. And we also created a customer journey map for each of these personas, for each of the segments. So customer journey map is a popular technique to approach to find problems or potential problems in the product. So to create customer journey map, you divide customer journey on steps and analyze the journey, the issues the customers face on each of the steps. It's a very useful approach, and we use this for each of the segments. The next thing we used is competitive analysis. Of course, we check our competitors' products. We check which features they have, what ideas we could use from them. But we also checked other solutions on the market, not necessarily from competitors, like maybe from similar website or from similar products. So we created like a list of ideas, and we used the ones that are probably easier to implement and would fit our product the most. Yeah, and we also used market trends, of course. So the next thing we did is in-depth interviews. So those were one-on-one interviews with one of the segments, one of the customer segments. We conducted around, I think, 7 interviews. We had like limited resources, but usually from 10 to 20 is enough for this types of things. So here we had 30-minute sessions. We had interview structure predefined. So we had questions we wanted to ask them in like open-ended questions, so they can give us more than we just asked. And that was actually also very useful. So as a result, we had first of all, a better understanding of who they are. And we also learned several pain points which we were not aware of before. So it was pretty useful. The next thing we did is analytics. So since it's not a product company, you could not be in charge of the metrics themselves, but we still managed to integrate this skill into our processes. So we had access to Google Analytics of our website, and we could use this information to inform some of the decisions we made. So for example, part of the website we redesigned was related to some educational content. So it was like a website with educational content plus a lead capture form. So while redesigning this, we checked which pages are the most popular the most interesting for the users, where they spend the most time, and which pages, the most important probably, generate the most leads. And we use this to restructure the navigation, create the homepage. So we use this information to do the designs. And last thing is usability testing. So when we created the designs, we had 10 sessions, online sessions, where we asked our participants to click through the prototype of our design or of our website and explain what they see on this website, explain what they see on the page, what they understand from it, what they don't understand, what do they think will happen if they click this button, what they think will happen when they click something else. So it's also like open-ended questions, and it was also very, very, very important, very useful. It was also very, very useful, and we found some pain points we did not know about again, and it was fairly easy to fix them in the stage, in the designs. So this is a real example of how those product methods can be applied in the real project. Even if it's not a product company, you can still root for this product approach. You can still apply some of the skills, at least to some extent. Yeah, so that was my experience. I know that Tatiana has a different one, so I will hand over to her.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I totally support the point that even if you're not in the product company, you still can pursue some product management approaches and benefit from it. And my story is all about that. And I will share with you the path how I became product manager on my current project. So first, who is my client? It's mid-sized startup with web products. And they came to Grid Dynamics because they wanted to create mobile products for accessibility checking. They already had those in web. And what the opportunity was there for me is that the whole mobile product team is on our side, as well as the whole development team. And yeah, generally it was just all about active approach. What happened? First, I started as a product owner on this project, and I managed the team backlog, and I've gathered a lot of requirements, of course, and just general BA, PO stuff. And I work closely with UX designer, and therefore I was also tied closely with product manager at the time on client side, who became product director later. And I just witnessed the approaches, the processes that they have in product development, and I analyzed them. I also learned some things on the background, and I had already some product management experience in the past. And so I understood that we can actually make things a lot more easier, productive, and generally better. And I presented to the customer some useful approaches that I knew of. And what's more importantly, I suggested and I did. I led the initiatives myself. And yeah, they've seen what I can do, how things evolve, and that it really brings changes to the project. And so they made an informed decision that they want to see me as product manager for the mobile products generally. And that's what happened. To sum up, how do you become a product owner, product manager if you're interested in this career path? And if you are also in a company of ours or similar to ours. So first, you should, of course, learn more about what product management is and the roles of product owner and manager. And this can be done by learning on courses, gaining some certifications, YouTube videos, even reading articles, and what's more importantly, doing your own pet project. This is really key thing here. And if you're interested in this career path, I very much encourage you to try to do your own project to test everything you learn on the way. Then think of the existing product development processes at your project and analyze through the lens of all of the things you learned, how can you improve it? what change can you make, and it will make the whole thing better. And act actively, yes. If it's a small time investment, you want to improve this particular small process and it won't take a lot of time and bring, I don't know, some drastic changes, just do it and present the result, gather feedback from the business, and then continue. With the feedback, you can lead your activities in the way that business can expect you to do. If it's some major time investment, like you want to revamp the whole, I don't know, UX design process at your project, then make a very good structured proposal to the business, show it, and do your best to complete the expectations, take responsibility and fulfill the tasks, and yeah, you will succeed. Profit. Okay, so this is the golden recipe, and I hope it was helpful for you. Yes, no magic tricks here and there, but reality shows that actually it works, and it works perfectly fine. So invest in it if you want to. And guys, we've got one more little survey for you, and I kindly ask you to fulfill it as well. We will share the link in the chat. I guess we already did, yes. Or you can follow the link on the QR code. It's just literally same survey as you had at the beginning, and we will now in real time compare the results. We really want to learn more about you, learn how was this meetup for you? Was it helpful? Did you learn more about the differences between the roles that we covered? And if you are now more or less interested in becoming a product owner or product manager. Okay, I see that it's getting closer to the number of people that we had in the first survey. So let's see how you answered at the very beginning of this meetup. So how good do you understand the role of product owner and product manager? And we had 57.5% of people who understand it really well, 4 or 5 out of 5. And a little less than half of our attendees and understand the role not so good. Okay, about product manager, less people understood the role very well, a little less than half. So it's actually pretty much same share, not a big difference. Then the question was, do you think you already complete some of those role tasks at your project? And yeah, we have a lot of key audience here. I see a lot of people answered yes. But we also had like a third share of people who were uncertain. And are you interested in becoming a product owner and product manager? And we have here the majority of people who answered that yes, they are highly interested in this, precisely 55%. Okay, and let's check how it is now. See further responses. Guys, answer, complete your answers if you haven't yet. It will just change, no problem. So now we see that almost, 90% of people understand what is the role of product owner now, which is great. We had 57.5, so it's like a major increase, more than 30%. Cool. I see that our meetup helped you. And same for product manager. Yeah, the share is almost same. Yeah, almost 90% here as well. So I'm very glad that it was helpful for you. Then we can see that the number of people who answered yes, that they do complete some tasks already, some tasks of PO or PM already also increased. And let's check for how much. Yeah, we had 42% and now it's 60. So it's also a major increase. Some people are still uncertain. So I hope that the recording of this meetup and the slides that we will share will help you to actually dive a little bit in more details and answer this question for if you haven't still yet find the right answer. And the number of the ones who are interested in becoming one. Yeah, we have more people now who are definitely very high interested in becoming PO or PM. The share increased by 10%. And yeah, the answer 4 out of 5 has also increased in share. So good thing then that you attended our meetup and listened to us. I hope that it was helpful for you. And thank you for answering what topics are you interested in as well. It will help us plan future meetups. And if you want to add some of the responses, feel free to complete the survey again. It won't hurt. The statistics, we already seen it. So guys, now it's time for your questions. I will go back to slides and yeah, we're ready to answer any if you have. Elvina, can you please
Yes,
read?
we already have two questions in chat. Could you compare agile and ITIL roles for this position? For this position, I don't remember what was this position. Maybe Alexander can said what is.
Yeah, sure. I asked about the BM, BAs, system analytics, and so on. But could you compare these roles between agile roles and ITIL? But of course, if it will help, it may be done.
Yeah, actually, this is also very intertwined and I would say very thin matter. It's can be defined differently by different sources. What you've seen here was mainly focused on agile, and I think I cannot specify right away the distinctions between agile and ITIL's definition of the roles. But it's a good thing to have a future meetup on, so thank you for your question. We can follow up on it later.
Thank you. And second question is, Nasta, do you want to add something?
No. I'm just preparing for the second one. I know.
Okay. Who are the customers of that e-commerce site? Any examples of a pain point revealed through the in-depth interviews?
Yeah. So the segment we interviewed was students. So that was students who study mechanics. And as an example, I can give you, so I can give you two examples. So we had this hypothesis that the students, since they are just starting their career, they might want to have a feature on the website to compare products between each other. So, because they are just not that experienced yet. And during the interviews, we had 7 of them, I guess. No one said that they need this feature. And it turned out that these people are actually usually already have, these people usually have experience already, and they are retired military, or they've been working as mechanics before, and they decided to start their education. So the picture of the students kind of did not correspond to what we had in our minds. And this comparing products feature with comparing products, so we were so sure that they need this, but then we decided that it needs more investigation of, obviously, some statistics of if they actually need this. And another example could be during those interviews, we learned that some people, like several of the participants, said that they use the wish list to share different products to different people. So, for example, there was a customer group within the students called teachers. So they were not specifically students, they were teachers of those students, and they actually needed the feature to share different wish lists because they had to share. So they needed different compilations of products, and to do that they had to remove every time products from the wish list, share them, then add back. So it was very inconvenient. So there is an idea for the future to add this feature to the website. Also, like the ideas received during the in-depth interviews should be validated with some statistics, maybe some polls, surveys, or A/B testing to see if that is actually needed. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Anastasiia. And the next question is, A/B testing was mentioned as one of the skills for a PM. What kind of tools do you use to prepare that data?
So on our project, we used Optimize. I didn't use it personally on the project, but when I know our client uses Optimizely and conducts some A/B testing using this. Also, there was a tool, I forgot the name.
You can find it after while Yana's speech and write it in the chat. Okay, so any other questions? I see. Okay, I see one. Do you have a project where you have product manager, product owner, business analyst, Scrum master, and the Scrum team?
A good one. I personally never had one. So the combinations that I'm familiar with would be project manager, business analyst, and system analyst, and the Scrum team, and product owner, product manager, and Scrum team. So yeah, it's never all of them, unfortunately, sometimes. But actually, in some projects, you don't even need all of those roles because, I mean, it depends on the size of the team heavily and on specifics of the product and project, of course.
Okay, thank you. And thank you from David. And thank you guys for all these words. Thank you in our chat. Maybe someone who want to ask something by voice? I think no. Okay, so thank you, girls. Thank you for this speech. It was very informative for me too. So Yana, I want to give the microphone to you with your speech about prototypes. So you can start.
Hello, guys. Yeah, let me just share the screen. Hey, guys. Yeah, hello again. Today, we are going to talk with you about prototyping for business and system analysts. And I'm also going to share with you some my tips and tricks, which I learned during my work as business analyst. But let me start from my introduction. Yeah, so I started my journey in IT actually as automation quality assurance engineer almost 5 years ago, probably. And I was lucky to join one of the teams where we had different kind of tasks. I had different kind of tasks for business analyst, for UI UX designer. Yeah, sometimes I even completed some tasks as project manager. Yes, so different ones. And I realized that this realm, yeah, this area is quite exciting for me, yeah, and very interesting. So actually, probably, 1 year ago, I switched to a business analyst position completely. Yeah, and also about this project on which I've been working on for the last 3 years, I developed a design for this tool from scratch. Yeah, so I know something about prototyping. And let me quickly go through agenda and what we're going to cover today. So basically, we will go through some basic question about prototyping. Why we need to prototype, yeah, how to do that, which tools to use if you are going to do that, yeah. And as I said at the beginning, I will share with you my tips and tricks. Okay. The first question here. What is the difference between wireframes, mockups, and prototypes? I'm pretty sure that you as business analysts, yeah, or I don't know, just the person who works in IT, heard a lot of these words, wireframe, mockups, prototypes, and I'm not sure that everybody actually understands the difference. Yeah. So here on the slide, we have different types of deliverables of prototyping. And the question is to you, what is wireframe, what is mockup, and what is prototype here? You can actually say it out loud, you can probably raise a hand, yeah, and our moderators will help you to answer here.
We have in chat wireframe, mockup, prototype in this sequence.
Yeah, it actually was an easy question because they already placed in the right sequence. So yeah, the first one is wireframe. You see this like scheme. Well, looks like more just ideas or something like that. The second one, it's mockup. Actually, it's presenting us in a more detailed way, probably some feature. And the third one is prototype. It's already with applied color scheme. Yeah, it looks like the actual tool. Yeah, so yeah, completely right. Okay, and we will talk about the stage, yeah, when we actually need to use each of these type of deliverables. We would say that wireframes should be used at requirement gathering, so kind of like the first stage, yeah, validation during some workshops, yeah, face-to-face. So, and about mockups, as I mentioned before, it's also at requirement and feature validations. About prototypes, the most like interesting here. It should be used at all stakeholders and final round feedback collection. Why it works like this? So basically, when we are working with customers, with our stakeholders, yes, okay, they know their requirements, but they not actually always can see some gaps. Yeah, we also can like miss something. But when they see the result, yeah, it's easier for them probably to share some feedback in the early stages. Yeah, so that's why. Yeah, and also let's have a look. Let's have a look at some table, which also show us a comparison actually of these three deliverables by different metrics. The most interesting here, yeah, I would say that it's fidelity, skill requirement, and time needed. You see, right, that for mockups and prototypes, fidelity is high. At the same time, skill requirement is high and time needed is quite high, yeah, medium and high. So if you want to create like mockup or prototype, you have to know like how to do that, right? And you will have to spend a lot of time on that, yeah? So yeah, so let's move on to the next question. So why we actually need to prototype? Lately, I'm pretty sure that you've seen a lot of courses here and there, probably learning passes for business analysts about prototyping. Yeah. So you're actually probably wondering, do I need to know how to do that? I mean, we have UX, UI designers, right? But prototyping is the easiest way to avoid ever having the uttered phrase, if only I knew then what I know now. But basically getting back to what I already said, yeah, that in the early stages, we actually can check what our customer think about the final result, yeah, just by showing them our prototypes, yeah. So you all, I'm pretty sure, I mean, business analysts, they know that prototyping it's one of the requirement gathering technique, yeah. So and it's a pretty interesting one. We agreed that prototyping like can be used as for business analysts, but how widely it's used for now. Here I have some stats from one of the IT companies where they have quite a lot of business analysts, and they conducted some surveys regarding the usage of different types of prototyping and different deliverables of prototyping. And business analysts told them that they mostly use medium fidelity prototypes for their work and high fidelity prototypes. Okay, so it's kind of widely used. Probably we also need to know how to do that, right? Okay, but which tools to use? Where to start? To start, to choose the tool, we need to understand what exactly you need to create. Yes, so it can be, once again, wireframe, mockups, or prototypes. Yeah, and depending on that, we will just choose the tool with needed capabilities, yeah, which will be matching our needs. And here I will show you a few tools. They are pretty popular. I believe that the first one, all business analysts know. Yeah, it's Balsamiq. I've heard about that a lot, and I've never used this one because it's mostly used for building wireframes. So the easiest one, I mean, low fidelity type of deliverables. Yeah, there you can build wireframes again. Let me just click here because I have the pages like where you can download this tool, actually try it. Yeah, here are some like examples on their page. You see, right, some schemes. other tools for creating mockups and prototypes, it's, I would say, Sketch and Figma. And I'm personally using Sketch mostly. I usually can create in wireframes there, always like mockups and prototypes. The only disadvantage here is that Sketch is not free comparing to Figma. Let me just open Sketch. I will show you their like main page, how the tool looks like. Yeah, it will be like possible to create all this artboard and create some interfaces. So yeah, we have this tool. Same actually for Figma, and it's free for use. Yeah, you can try it. I use it just a little bit, I would say, to familiarize myself with interface. Yeah, so but you can check it out. And the last one, InVision, also kind of well known, I would say. It's mostly used for prototyping and not just usual prototyping. I'm talking about creating dependencies. Yeah, so for example, when you want to show to your customer like kind of real application, how it will be working if it clicks on some buttons, you can do that via InVision. So basically you already created some artboards, I mean interfaces, some different like windows, and you can simply connect, click on the button with another window. Yeah, so, and when you will be presenting it to your customer, yeah, you can show what the behavior will be at the end. So yeah, it's all possible via InVision. Let me just also quickly show it to you. Yes, you see some user flows. It's all possible with this tool. Yeah, so once again, you can check it out later if you will be interested. And about Sketch, I mentioned that it's not free, but they have some trial period. Yeah, and there are like a lot of guides actually how to work with these tools too, like at least on YouTube. So feel free to familiarize yourself with them. So we now know that we business analysts need to know how to prototype. We know why. We know that it's widely used, and we chose the tool. Where actually to start? Yeah, and do we need to think about some, I don't know, probably UX UI stuff like color schemes? Yeah. And let's check how these quote prototypes are in the place to fuzz our color schemes. Isn't it? So according to some stats, 93% of consumers rely on visual appearance when considering some products. And there are also the high percentage of people who think that color of the product is the main reason why they're buying it. Yeah, and additionally, some researchers also show that color increases brand recognition by up to 80%. Something to think about, right? Let's have a look on these three logos. They are well known. I'm pretty sure that you all like know them. Yeah, you know these companies. So what do you think about them? What comes to your mind when you're looking on these logos? What do you feel about them? Also, it's a question to you. You can say it out loud.
That they are serious because they are great.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything else? I see that there are some messages in the chat, so probably...
Yeah, for me, I feel like they are very professional, reliable, and as a comment, frugal.
Yes, exactly. So when we look at these logos, they're all in this color scheme with like gray colors, black colors. They look calm. Yeah, I'm thinking about some seriousness, simplicity, something like this, right? And we all probably feel the same. So the color impacts user behavior. Yeah, it works for us. So, and here we can see some examples of some companies, yeah, and their logos, and they actually using the color to affect, I would say, their consumers' behavior, yeah, to impact. So, for example, let's check out the red color. Red color is telling us about ambition, energy, some confidence. And here we can see Coca-Cola or Virgin Voyages company, or I don't know, Pinterest. About Pinterest, probably yes, but Coca-Cola and Virgin Voyages, like for me, 100% true. Yeah. And also we can see here under the gray color, our icon, our logo, Apple, and telling us about balance, neutral, some practical solid, yeah. So it's what we actually felt. So yes, color affects behavior. And we as business analysts, we are the closest people to our customers, to our users, right? UX, UI designers, they also understand all of this, but we also know that all requirements. We are people who know them the most, right? So we actually can validate it. So once again, I wouldn't say that we need to think about color scheme at first place as business analysts. But when we have design, okay, we have some, I don't know, options from designers, we can, once again, validate them and check them. Let's imagine that we are looking for microscope application somewhere in the App Store, and you see this logo. What do you think about this logo? So what is the target audience for this application?
Science in comments.
Okay.
Scientists, students.
Okay. I see that scientists and students, it's two different groups, right? So I would say that it's not very clear. Yeah, so it's kind of basic, probably, yeah, and it wasn't very well considered when they created this logo for this microscope app. Yeah, because you can't say it like right away. Kind of like mixed feelings, I would say. So let's become, I don't know, UX designers also, but just business analysts who is going to validate and kind of create our scheme for two different applications. It also will be microscope application, but for two different target audiences. The first one is kids, and the second one, scientists. Two completely different target audiences. The first one, what do you think about this color scheme? For who was it made? For kids or for scientists?
Kids.
Yes, and you like told me it's right away, right? So it's kids, but why? Yeah, anybody? Probably like don't
Happy. Too colorful, bright colors because it has variety of different vibrant colors like rainbow.
Yes. Okay. But how to actually build such color schemes just to know that, okay, it's microscope and it's for kids. Yeah. So this is like one of the techniques which I learned actually during my work. And it's kind of easy one. So when you think about kids and what they're doing on, I don't know, daily basis, they like going to toy stores. Yeah, they like watching some cartoons. They like just playing toys in the kindergarten. Yeah, if we will just try to search for such things, I don't know, just in the Google or also like in the Pinterest, you see right here some pictures, just the kid playing some toys, the kid in the toy store, yeah, some, I don't know, cartoons, some microbes just in a cartoon way, yeah. So you see right that it's all colorful. By gathering such pictures together, you can just create kind of like collage, right? And choose from these pictures mostly used colors. So these colors is just, for me, they're mostly used here, and I created quickly this color scheme. Once again, I wouldn't say that I need to use all these colors in my app. Yeah, and like I need to use it for text. No, but when we have the result from UX designer, we can quickly just validate and understand that we are on the same page. Yeah, that we are on the same page with customers. We're on the same page with designers. Yeah, that we understand what we need to create, right? So yeah, and you're completely right. It was created for kids. Okay. The second group is scientists. Here, probably you won't agree with me completely, but I was thinking about, again, their like routine, yeah, daily basis routine, what they are working with, also microscopes, they are probably uniform, also these microbes or all this stuff which they can see with a microscope, yeah, and I created this color scheme. You see, it's completely different from the kids color scheme for kids, yeah, and these colors more bright. If I look at them, they're super like probably related to some hospitals or something like that. That's what I feel. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Do you think that this is the right color scheme for microscope for scientists?
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine, but once again,
Why not?
yeah. So when we have this design, yeah, we can once again just quickly check if this color scheme is not like for kids. Yeah. So for example, we need to create a application for scientists and we have this colorful color scheme. Okay. And it won't work probably when they will find scientists. I mean, when they will find this application in the App Store with such colors, so bright and colorful, and their logo, they will think that probably it's not for me. Yeah. Yeah. But with this color scheme, it will be different. You will feel different. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that you will find this technique useful in your work, and probably you will look at your tools on which you're working on with from different angle now. Yeah. Yeah. And another thing which I want to cover today about prototyping, it's basically that creativity is not always good at our work. So the quote, "Do not reinvent the wheel." What I want to talk about here is basically creating some mockups, prototypes for new tools or some already existing tools. So let's imagine that, okay, for now we already know how to prototype, and we chose the tool, for example, Sketch, and we just joined the project where we need to create a new tool completely from scratch. But this tool, this application, it's under umbrella. When I'm talking about umbrella, it's like company which have a lot of products. Yeah, one of them is Google, for example. Yeah, and I will show you basically my example based on their products. So here you see, right, that if you need to create a new product, you don't need to actually choose the font size for all the titles. You need to choose colors, you need to choose some icons. No, it's more simple here. So basically, if you open to their products, for example, here it's a Google Sites and Google Slides, we will see that they have the same search bar on the top. They have the same icon sizes, the same icons, the same font sizes, font styles, like everything the same, hamburger button in the left corner. So it's all similar. And also, if you check some entities in both applications, you will see that action items, they're also pretty the same naming, the same sequences of actions, the same icons also. Yeah, so when you will be creating this new tool, you need always to consider that, okay, I need to check it out, how it already works in other tools under this umbrella. Why we need to do that? So basically, it's all about user experience. Yeah, we don't want our users to open some new tool and think like, okay, it's beautiful, but where should I start? Like, I don't understand anything. We want our users to open the tool and know exactly where they should go, where they should create a new entity, where they should, how they can share this entity with other, teammates. Yeah, to make it easier for them. So once again, it's not always about our creativity here. And another use case, for example, you joined the team where they have already some applications, so it's not the new project. You do not need to create anything from scratch. And you need to create some mock-ups for sharing functionality. You already have that for documents. You need to create some mock-ups for sharing for folders. Yeah. What are you going to do? Again, not the place for your creativity here. Just check out the current already implemented functionality. Just check how it works in similar applications even. Yeah, but it's better to start from already like existing your tool. Yeah, go and check out all the actions, all the pop-ups, how they look like, where they place button, which color scheme they use, yeah, where they put titles, how additional info looks like. Yeah, so again, do not reinvent the wheel here. So basically, for example, here you could click on this share button, check how the sharing documents, yeah, and do the similar for our folders. So, and all that you can create in Sketch, in Figmas, yeah, in Figma tools, yeah. So try it out. You can create some, I don't know, some design from scratch, some new one for your own tool, yeah, or you can just simply start using it on your current projects. I'm telling you, like, customers love that. They love to see like the almost final result, yeah. And what I want to say, I hope that these tricks, tips, and information was useful for you and interesting and entertaining. Because for me personally, prototyping is like super cool thing, and I'm very passionate about this. I hope you will too. You will be too. So let me know if you have any questions and how I can help you probably. And thank you so much for attention.
Thank you, Yana. And you can ask questions in chat or by microphone also.
While we're waiting, I found the name of the second A/B testing tool. So the first one is Google Optimize and the second one is Monetate. So I will put them in the chat for the person who asked.
Thank you, Nastya. And the person who asked, fine. Okay, so I think that's no questions for Yana. So your presentation was very understandable, as I know. Okay, and we have thanks in our chat, and I want to say thank you for everyone who have joined us. Thank you to our speakers for these informative talks.